Welcome back to the channel. Last night I did this video in the studio, and unfortunately I did not have the microphone turned on, and so I am having to do it over again. But to keep it simple, I'm just going to do it here on my phone. To begin with, this has been on my heart for a few days. I was talking to the pastor's wife about it. She felt that, yeah, if it's on your heart, you probably should talk about it. So a while back, I was looking for something that would help me to move forward. I've been struggling with depression since my daughter's death, and really all that I had been able to accomplish over the last couple of years was to maintain the house and, run the errands and watch the dogs. But in terms of imagining myself really being in a full-time job or even a part-time job or anything that really required me to make a commitment, I was a bit afraid to do that. So the first step that I took was I decided to volunteer at the local Salvation Army because they can always use volunteers. So I spent 4 hours on a Monday really just helping with things like writing food vouchers or just talking to people when they wanted, someone to listen and have a cup of coffee with them. And this freed up people that were actually employees there of being able to do other more essential things in the office. So where I had felt quite afraid in the beginning, it turned out to be a nice thing. I didn't find it as scary as I thought it was going to be. So I've been doing that. And then my husband was trying to encourage me as well to take some steps forward. He made several suggestions to me. He has a really nice camera, and he wanted me to maybe think about doing some photography, but that didn't really, excite me in any way. Too many gadgets, too many buttons to figure out, and, I don't even touch his stereo for the same reason. And then the other suggestion was, well, why don't you learn to fly my drone? And I just thought, there's so many restrictions in the area where we live because of military stuff. So I just didn't see myself doing that either. It just, nothing that he was suggesting was really floating my boat. So I didn't want him to think I don't want to try. I just wasn't finding anything that really appealed to me. And I think it's important that you try to do something that you enjoy, because it doesn't feel quite as much like work. And I think on top of that, you tend to be more successful because you enjoy it. So basically, I was trying to figure out a way to start a business at home. We'd had a business for a number of years, but my husband became an employee where he works, and so the business is still there, but we won't be using it the way we had. So I'm going to try to transition that. And I found some things that I am kind of studying up on so that I'm able to stay with our old dogs during the day, and I can still get things done around the house, and I can still have bad days because I still do, and it won't be the end of the world. But one of the things that started to really kind of be on my heart was that I should do videos of the things that God was teaching me. And, making videos wasn't going to earn us any money. I mean, you have to have like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours before you can ever monetize a video. And then YouTube just sort of throws up adverts on the videos that may have something similar to what you're talking about or what they think will appeal to the audience. If you don't have hundreds of thousands of viewers, you're probably not going to see any kind of income that you could actually live off of. But that wasn't the point of doing the videos, but I felt strongly that I should do them. And then I talked to my husband about it, and he threw his support behind me. He got me some equipment, green screen and some things, proper lighting, so that I could actually set up a little studio in our conservatory. And, I just figured, well, if this was God that was putting this on our heart, then he would certainly be touching somebody that was watching the video that needed to watch it, and he would sort out the rest of our life. So I didn't feel too worried about it. But one of the things that drove me to try doing this is that I was feeling pretty down because in my life I felt that I hadn't really achieved much, at least the things that the world admires. So when people would ask me, what do you do? And that is so common. I didn't have an impressive answer. I have to say at the moment I'm not achieving much. I volunteer, I work around the house, I'm doing errands and laundry, and I'm taking steps to be able to work from home, but it's early days and I'm still figuring out how to set up the business. It occurred to me that all that I really possessed that I could offer is God's love and what he was showing me and what he was teaching me. And I have learned to value these things more than silver and gold. They're sort of my treasure. And I felt the need to do this video today because all that you, the viewer, can know of me, unless you're one of my friends who's watching this or family, is what I look like, what I sound like, and what I say I believe. But I need to let you know I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. I still struggle with depression. Sometimes I take 10 steps forward and I'm feeling really good that I'm making progress, and then something happens and it sets me back 5 steps. And when you're already struggling with depression, that can kind of start to play on your thinking. So I have to really remind myself that all has not been lost, that I've still gained those 5 steps, and then I just keep going forward. I mean, my progress isn't as fast as I would like it to be, but it is what it is. We all grieve and we all go through things differently. So I'm trying to be gentle with myself. I'm trying to be less impatient with myself. But I have good days and I also have some very down ones. But I can only share what God has taught me. So really, I'm just passing information along. I'm not talking from a standpoint of having my life all together. And, it's real easy for the devil to try to accuse me of being a hypocrite. And a hypocrite, if you look it up, is really somebody who's play acting. And he tries to make me feel like that because I put on a smile and because I talk about things that I don't always succeed at myself. But God has used many imperfect people in the scriptures. And I'll put up a few verses on that. But if he could only use perfect people, well, he wouldn't use any of us because none of us are perfect. Only Jesus was perfect. And although we strive to reflect his character because we love him, and so we try to walk in his love and we try to apply what he teaches us, but we all fall short. We all have days when we don't feel good, or when we have our ups and downs. But it is incredibly hard when you're depressed on top of that, because you seriously have to fight your thinking and you have to fight the lack of motivation. But that doesn't mean that we should give up. You see, if I allowed the devil's thoughts, of you're a hypocrite, you're this, you're that, the other, to stop me from what I feel that I need to be doing, then he would win. And I personally don't want to give him anything. I have given him enough years when I was living in the world, doing things my way. And during that time, I've allowed him to rob me of my peace and my joy and so much more. I'm not willing anymore. I've reached a point in my life where I realize I don't really want to live without God. And it's not because I'm getting old and I'm going to be dying and, I've got to stand before God and all of that. All those things are true. But really, it's because hopefully with age, we all gain wisdom. And I've lived long enough to finally learn that life without him is miserable. I don't enjoy not having him in my life. So when you watch these videos, remember that I'm not better than anyone else. I'm not preaching because I've got my life all together. In fact, I'm not even really preaching because I don't have a perfect walk. I still fail God. I'm an imperfect woman with an imperfect life, sharing a perfect God and the lessons that he teaches me, lessons that are more precious than silver and gold. So anyway, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and share it with anyone that you think might be blessed by the message. Until I see you again, until the next video, God bless.